Hi, hello there. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we are setting up my weekly spreads for the remaining of the July month. I did set up my first week when I did the setup, so now we're going to be setting up the rest of the month. This is just kind of how I've been using my journal, what I was just showing there. I have been doing like a brief little paragraph or journal entry depending on if I complete a craft that day, and if I don't complete a craft, I am trying to go in and just do like a small journal entry because I do want to start journaling more. I don't have a ton of stuff going on in my spreads this week just because a lot of them are going to be the days themselves, and I'm not sure if any of these are even gonna work, so a lot of these are kind of just test spreads. This first week here, I tried to do all of the spreads freehand because I can't actually see the dots in this journal. If I use a ruler, it like shadows over them and the dots are so light that I can't see. So I was trying to freehand my lines and they did not come out good. It's alright though, because in this month everything was double lined anyways, so it kind of looks intentional. I did do the line work for every other spread off camera, because that way I wasn't having my head in the video for those ones, and that was the only way that I could see the dots, is by having my face directly over the journal. So I did all the line work for the rest of the spreads off camera. This is the only one that I didn't do off camera, and the line work looks the worst on this one. I am gonna see how I feel about tracking my moods. I'm interested to see if on the days that I actually craft something, if maybe my mood is a little bit better than it is on days that I don't do anything crafty. I'm genuinely curious to see if there's any type of correlation there for me. So on this week and the next week, I do have little mini mood trackers. The final week spread, I didn't have room for one, but I also don't know if this is even something that I'm gonna like doing because I've not ever done it before, so we'll see. On every single one of these spreads that I'm doing this week, I had to highlight or draw lines every other line, because on the first week, like I said earlier, I can't see the dots in this journal, so I was writing all over the place. So to kind of prevent that for myself in the future, I'm either going to be highlighting every other line with one of my TomBow dual brush pens, or just drawing lines across the boxes so that I know where I should be writing when I'm trying to write. I don't know what it is about the line drawing itself, but I personally love watching it. I love watching other YouTubers just highlight their lines with the markers. I just find something so very satisfying about it. Is there anything when you watch these types of videos that you just love to see? Leave me a comment below and let me know what your favorite random thing is. I would like to know that I'm not the only one. I recently purchased some stamps from Studio Calico. I really love the stamp options that they have, and I also just really enjoy stamping in general. So you can see one of the stamp sets that I ordered up at the top right corner of my video. I'm going to use the numbers of those ones on the next week's spread. But then in this particular spread, I'm going to use one that says endlessly creating and add it to the top right corner of this spread. I think it's really adorable, and I'm pulling it out here right now. Unfortunately, my first attempt here doesn't really go very well, so I do try to press this again to make it a little bit more bold. I didn't get it dead on, so what I'll end up doing is later on tracing the outline of that stamp. And I think that's something that I do after my camera battery dies, and I do that off camera. Here are the numbers that I was just speaking about. The literal whole reason I bought this particular stamp set is because I was obsessed with the font that is used for these numbers. I can't get over it. I love it so much. I think it's gorgeous. So I spent $20 on this whole stamp set just so I could have these numbers. Worth it. I don't regret a thing. So once I finish stamping these numbers, I am going to go over top of them with calligraphy of each day of the week. I almost wish I had a little bit lighter of a color that I could have used for these stamps, because they blend a little bit too much together with the black pen that I used to write the days of the week. Regardless, I think it looks okay, so I'm not mad at it. But I think it would have looked a little bit better if the stamp's color that I use was a little bit lighter. Down here at the corner, my daughter had just brought me some macaroni and cheese and asked me if I would make some. So eventually here my battery dies and I end up getting up, making some macaroni and cheese. I go outside with the kids for a little bit, pull a bunch of weeds, and I think when I come back I might have some dirt under my fingernails, so just ignore that if you happen to see it. So that little transition a few moments ago was us coming back from my camera dying. You'll notice here quite a few times that my daughter's little elbow and hand and sometimes her head is at the bottom of the frame. She wanted to sit on my lap while I was doing my spreads and help. So she does help me put these stickers on, and it just melts my heart. I think it's the cutest thing in the world. And she sat there for a good 30 minutes just watching me draw random lines and doodle those flowers, and it was just so precious. She just kept going, "Oh, cute," over and over again while I was doodling, and just melted my heart. For some reason, I keep forgetting about these green leaves. I think it's a last minute thought I have done on every single weekly spread that I've done for this month, and I have no idea why, especially because green is one of my favorite colors. I would think that that would be the first color that I would want to do, but for some reason I just keep forgetting all about it. So I'm just about done with this spread here, and then we're flipping over to the very last spread of the month. This bottom corner is the only extra space that I have this month because I made the rest of the boxes a little bit bigger than the other spreads. Instead of doing a mood tracker, I did leave that section for a kind of like end of month journal-y recap situation. I did write above it, how do you feel this month went, or something along those lines, so that I can go in and kind of reflect on if I felt like I did a lot of crafty things, how I felt about my social media interactions, my growth, the amount of stuff that I was able to do, and just kind of reflect and see maybe if there's anything that I want to focus on extra hard next month, or something that I just want to stop doing altogether. I can kind of write it down in that little area. That way when I do my setup for the following month, I can kind of look at it and reflect and kind of see what's going on and how I'm feeling. I'm doing my alternating highlighted lines again on this spread. I'm using N89 and N75. I'm not 100% sure what the gray one was. I'll have it listed down below in the description, but these two light markers are my favorite for just like very neutral light tones. I love them. The N89 is actually, I think, my all-time favorite brush pen. So I wrote, how did this month go? And that's where my little reflection area is going to be. These stamps are from INKBYJENG on Etsy. I'm using the scripted Monday through Sunday. I really like the stamp, and I was using, I believe it's Color Theory, a Color Theory stamp set from Studio Calico, and I don't know if it was just the color itself or it's because the stamps hadn't been used, but I didn't really feel like it showed up very well. So what I'll end up doing is actually tracing over the stamp with a very, very thin Micron. I think I used 003 or 005 just to kind of give it a little bit more. I'm not sure if it helped it or took away from it though, because my hand was very shaky by the time I got to that. So when I do the close-up, you can visibly see the shake in my hand, but I think it's cute. I think it did help, so it works out. The pink dots that I used on this spread and the very first spread that we did are color dot markers. I got them from Amazon and I am obsessed. I love them so much. I'll have those linked down below as well, because I love the fact that I can just press the pen to the paper, press the marker to the paper, and just have a perfect circle. It's phenomenal. And the colors that came in this set are gorgeous. I love them so much. So for this particular spread, I am going to focus a little bit more on the green color that I just keep forgetting. I had this big space in the middle for just like 2 extra squares. And I just added 2 little viney areas next to it and just added a bunch of green in between. So I'll add a bunch of leaves around, and then I've got my vines in the middle, and then I'll add some of the smaller flowers that I've been doing throughout the monthly theme, because the big gray ones, they don't really fit anywhere on here. Really, for the rest of this spread, I'm just adding little sparkles and dots of the various colors that I've used throughout. And then we're done, and it's time for the final flip through. I think we've got maybe like a few more seconds left of me doing dots, and then we're gonna get into the flip through. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me again today. It is Tuesday once again, so I hope that the rest of this week flies by for you at the utmost ease. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye!